Welcome to our
Open tabs.
I'm Mara.
My name's Jess, and I might be back to my glitching mess.
Yes, we were talking. We're actually like perversely proud that Jess is a little laggy today because it proves we weren't lying to you.
Yeah, last time was too good. We're like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Now back to my normal standard. Hope you didn't get spoiled.
Yeah, don't, what I feel like when I was a kid, they would always be like, don't get used to this. And it's like, okay, I mean, it's my birthday and we're at the ice rink. I'm like, I feel like that's.
This is not how it'll be every day, okay?
Yeah, I get that it's my birthday. Hello, guys.
Howdy.
Howdy.
How's it going?
Hello. Okay, man, we got people streaming on in here. Today, housekeeping item. I did put up a poll about how people feel about the audio only version, and I feel like there was a quorum. I want to say like 25% of people said that's how they listen, is just the audio, which frankly makes me feel seen, validated, like all that time was not totally wasted. So I will do my best to continue to do that, but it probably will be lagging behind these live streams. So
yeah, because that takes time.
Yeah, I basically have to muster the will to sit there and fix the levels and whatever.
For sure. Hey, audio listeners, thanks.
Yes, we love you. Thank you for making all the work I put into that not totally invalid. But
I don't know how that work. I put that.
Yes.
Too late. What genre? What are we in for today? Last time we had a bit of true crime-ish.
We did.
The same theme for today?
I guess you could call this crime in the sense of there is some alleged stealing, but I would put this probably more in the realm of YouTube drama. Like, I think this is more like toxic gossip train end of things.
Okay. Not the toxic train. Hey.
Hello, Bree.
Yeah, because in wider YouTube sphere, I don't know a lot. Like, I knew when what is it? I don't know what it's called. Beauty-geddon, drama-geddon was going on with like beauty YouTubers.
Which one? Because there were 3 different iterations.
Exactly. I know there was some version of some part of one of those that made it just became so big that it left its sphere. But in general, I feel like there's so much of YouTube that I don't get to. So I just like don't know these people. So I'm like, oh, tell me.
Yeah. I mean, just to be totally honest, since Gaza / Sudan and Congo, it's been harder for me to enjoy petty YouTube drama. But this was the notableness of this is that it penetrated my numb sadness and it made me enjoy a drama.
Okay, those are important. We need those.
Aaron says, choo choo, we're ready for the tea. Okay. Yeah, the beauty drama, I don't even know. I feel like so many people have rehashed that one. I wouldn't have anything fun to contribute to that, but what a time to be alive. I remember vividly sitting at my cubicle at work watching the beginning part of Bye Sister, the Tati video that kicked off one of the eras of it, and just being glued. And this is back when I didn't have unlimited cell phone data, and I streamed it to my phone on the way home so I wouldn't have to stop listening.
Wow. That's dedicated. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm boots on the ground field reporter in the drama trenches. Yes.
That makes me think of corporate cringe. So fun.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So this particular drama, I do think people should know that Jess offered to make a thumbnail and then she texted me, did I find the right white man? This man is extremely white that we're going to talk about. White.
I was like, yeah, this is a person. Have I seen them before? Do I recognize them? It's like, let me text Mara before I'm like, here you go.
Impossible to say. Sorry to this man. No idea. And his whiteness actually does come up some in the later parts of this. But so today we're going to talk about why James Somerton just won't take the L. And maybe by now we can say he has, but he really, he just wouldn't lay down and take it and just say like, the internet is not for me anymore. He just kept going. Yeah. So you've not heard of James Somerton. Have you heard of the YouTuber named Hbomberguy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Highly recommend Hbomberguy. I have been watching since the epic Sherlock video. I don't play video games, but I'll even watch his video game review videos because they're entertaining. But he is he's sort of one of the like leftist culture video essayists, one of the better ones. And he is known for doing these like he'll call them like a measured response. And he kind of just like engages, like he did a lot of videos early in his career like debunking a lot of the alt-right YouTube guys. So like he's done those kinds of measured responses. He did one about climate change that was awesome. He covers a lot of different topics, from like pop culture stuff to sort of more like sociological stuff, maybe is the category for it.
I pulled up his YouTube and I've seen his face.
Yes.
This is a white face that I do recognize.
Yes. You know what? He's a British bisexual king. We are here for Harry. You might know him. He did a Donkey Kong marathon to raise money for a trans charity, and AOC joined his live stream. Yeah.
The Donkey Kong took me.
Yeah. Okay. So, he's
okay, not to get you off topic, but if you had to start, like you had never watched Hbomberguy, is there a video you would tell somebody to watch?
If you ever watched the show Sherlock, the Sherlock video is the place to start.
The BBC one?
Yes.
Okay, then I have. Okay.
Yeah, that I feel like that's his magnum opus. It like I'm gonna say somewhat cheekily, but somewhat seriously, it was a cultural reset. Like it really, I would say it was one of the first big like multi-hour analyses of a show that really went viral. So I would say he's a very influential YouTuber in the sense of his content is both very high quality and popular. Even as he's definitely left leaning in his politics, but even aside from that, like gamers really like watching his content. He's just, I would say he's a very well respected YouTuber.
Okay. Oh my God. It says Sherlock is garbage, and here's why. I mean, it's not perfect, but okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Prepare to have your eyes open in some ways that you're like, you're right.
Okay. I haven't watched it. I put there's some time between there. There's still a love, but it's fine, especially what I know about one of the actors. Anyway, that's not the point.
Well, and I think part of what he does is he validates why people liked it up until the finale. And then he's kind of like deconstructing why the finale was such a disappointment.
Yes.
And how it like shows
mad.
That finale was hot garbage. Yeah. And his thesis is basically like the problems that are in the finale were always there, but because there were other good things about the show, fans just kept hoping that those things would get resolved.
Yeah.
And the finale just shows that it just won't.
Okay. Well, be prepared for voice notes when I start watching.
Please, yes. And I mean, really, another one that I think is great if that one hits a little too close to home is he does a video about the oof sound from, was it Roblox? They're like, oof, that little kid noise that people put in things. It's
Mhm.
it's a great video because he basically like starts with just like, hey, who actually created this? There's a little bit of controversy, and then he ends up like unpacking the crazy history of one of the people involved, and he keeps being like, this is supposed to be a short video, and it's like he just keeps going further and further down the hole. That's another good one.
Okay. Save to watch later.
Yeah. And he only makes a couple of videos a year.
Dang.
He's one of
I mean,
those.
those are long, so
Yeah, they're really long. And so he popped up onto our timelines once again last, I think it was December, with a 4-hour long video.
not a Snyder cut.
And I put off watching it for a couple days because like, oh Lord, okay, I'm gonna have to just like get through the. Jess, when I tell this was similar to my experience with the Jenny Nicholson 4-hour Star Cruiser video for those who have watched that, where it's like I started watching it being like, okay, I know I'm gonna like this, but like I can watch this and no, like no pauses, no look away, no go at the edge of my seat. And the title of this video is YouTube, or it's like you and plagiarism, but then tube is in parentheses, so like YouTube and plagiarism. And this video, how many views does it currently have, Jess?
25 million views.
For a 4-hour long video. So that tells you how like interesting this video is and how well structured it is and paced, and yeah, it's so good. So the first 2 hours, so basically the entire video is him going through different examples of plagiarism on YouTube and kind of talking about like different types of plagiarism. So there can be the kind where you're just directly like freebooting somebody's content, like re-uploading. There can be you're copying like the script from an article. There can be like you're purposely cutting out crediting for your B-roll. Like he's kind of showing all these different examples and kind of going through why plagiarism in general is a problem, which I don't feel like people who have gotten a high school degree should understand. Like,
well,
I feel like that was covered pretty well in my high school courses. I don't know about yours, but
Mara, the people are not well. The people are not well. It might have been covered. Does not mean they were present in class that day.
Yeah.
Or awake. But yeah, continue.
Or processing. Yeah. But so it's certainly, if you've got a high school degree, this should not be something that's a mystery. If you've got a college degree where you've had to like upload your paper through that portal thing to make sure you're not and then if you've got a master's degree in any kind, like there's zero excuse of why you should not understand exactly what does and doesn't constitute plagiarism. Okay. So Harris gets through his first 2 hours and then he's like, okay, here's what we're all here for. Let's talk about James Somerton. And he proceeds to spend the next 2 hours, I want to say degloving, which is like where they like you rip the thing off the bone. Like dissecting this Canadian white man who is like the self-proclaimed voice of the gays on YouTube. Like that's sort of like who he fancies himself to be.
Wow. That's a title to give yourself.
Yes. So it is a complete sumo style smackdown of this man. And it was just like I know you've never heard of James Somerton. I had only, I am a watcher of video essays. I like that genre. I like pop culture video essays. I'd started a couple of his videos, but I found his presentation of the information just like so stilted and odd that I could
Yeah.
never really get into him. But I just thought like, oh, that's too bad, because all of his videos would be about like queer horror movies, or like basically applying queer cinema theory to different movies and TV shows. Like that was
Okay.
most of what he was doing. So interesting topics,
Yeah.
things I
The
theoretically would have
delivery.
enjoyed. Yeah.
Delivery not there.
Not
Okay.
not for me, but lots of people
Mhm.
loved him. I think he had a couple of 100,000 subscribers. Like he was a good sized channel. Um, but overnight he is utterly canceled by this. And let me give so first of all, I want to show you something Harry did that I was like, this was like the moment I remember from this.
So before Hbomberguy, his name is Harry. Before his
Yes.
video, there was nothing, and then his video, and then the cancellation.
Well, after his video, we learned that there were things, but they had kind of gotten swept under the rug. Okay.
Okay.
So this is can you see this Google Doc?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this was a graphic he created to illustrate how much of this guy's scripts were stolen. So like he's color coordinate in one this is one video. He's color coordinated the people they could find to where he has literally just copy and pasted their work whole cloth.
One video.
This is a singular video.
Damn.
So it's like a very effective illustration of just like, okay, there's no amount of crediting that would justify entire pages of your script being someone else's words. Even if he had cited that somebody on, like, I don't know, who is it? Zoe Fortier, the brown color. Even if he had cited that these were her words, it wouldn't matter, because you can't just copy, like it's not original work anymore if you're just literally quoting someone for hundreds and hundreds of words at a time.
My lord.
So
That is insane.
yeah. And I should have grabbed that screenshot too, but I didn't. He went through, and I forget the number of videos, but it was like, let's say of 100 videos, he found plagiarism to that level in like 70% of them. So like huge percentages of what this man had been making all this money on, because we'll get to that, had come from the work of not just other people, but like he had propped himself up as this like voice for the gays. And it's like, okay, but you're stealing from gay thought leaders, like queer thought leaders. You're taking their work and profiting from it. And so like, how can you be a champion for underrepresented people in pop culture if you are perpetuating that underrepresentation for these people?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I am floored at that one image. I can't believe that's one video.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And so to your point of like, had he been, so there had been people trying to call him out before. So let's say his ultimate ends up being three different things. So the thing that kicks it off is this video from Harry. Oh, and then a couple days later, there's another YouTuber who knows Harry and is in the same circles, named Todd in the Shadows, who normally does music criticism, but he then did a companion video showing how many just like straight up lies were in these videos of like, you're just making facts up. Like he was saying like, oh, Skype was invented by the people, by gay porn video studio, or I feel like I'm using all these buzzwords that YouTube is going to be mad at. The people in power in Germany in the 30s and 40s, it was just all gay people in their leadership. Or he just like had all of these historical factual misrepresentations. What? So there's another like 2-hour video from Todd that came out a couple days later, basically showing not only is he stealing shit, when he's not stolen it, he's just lying. He's just making things
Wow.
up.
Wow. Sir.
Yeah. So
That is
he,
crazy.
yeah, so he's just completely, so at that point, so that's like kind of one bucket of like that's the main thing that gets him canceled. But there's two other things that come out. One of the points that Harry and Todd make, and like once you see it, you can't unsee it, is that he is like got rampant misogyny in his videos. Like
Mhm.
he's always dogpiling on white women. And I think the reason he does that is because as a white woman, I can say we are pile-onable, but I don't want to hear that from any man.
Yeah.
I will hear
No.
that from other women of any color.
Yeah.
But I do not want to hear it from a white man. Like, so
Wow.
he would just like make up stories about women, like about straight women, to sort of like demonize them. It was very strange.
People have so much time in their hands to be doing all this, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and he also, I think it also came out that he'd had some like ace phobia in his videos. So there was a couple of like, hey, you clearly have like some problems with women. And for somebody who's saying that they're trying to represent all queer people, you're not doing a very good job in some specific cases. So that's sort of like the second bucket of criticism that comes out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The third bucket is that, have you heard of the streaming service called Nebula?
Yes,
Okay.
I have. I don't know too much about it, but I have heard of it in passing before.
Yeah. It is owned by YouTubers. I would recommend it. I have a subscription. It's basically a way for them to make like they it's sort of like a version maybe of Patreon, but like set up like a streaming service. So you get
Okay.
exclusive and early videos, and then also like the unedited videos that YouTube might take down. So like a lot of people who do like movie or music criticism,
Oh, okay.
it can be a good
Was
option
Lindsay
because
Ellis on there or was on there? Did I
yes.
ever hear about that? Okay.
Yeah, Lindsay Ellis is on there. FD Signifier is on there, who made an amazing 3-hour video about Drake and Kendrick.
FD, I've been watching. He's been in my rotation lately.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
So he's on there. So it's a lot of, again, the perception is sort of left leaning, but a lot of different sort of like video essayists and
Okay.
but it's a pretty, I mean, everyone can always get better in these things, but it's a pretty diverse platform. Like, you
Mhm.
know, lots of different demographics represented and who is on this creator platform. Well, James was very like butthurt um about not being on Nebula, and he kept tweeting being like, I don't even remember exactly what he was saying, but he was essentially insinuating like there are no gay creators on Nebula. And literally the gay creators on Nebula like responded and were like, how about Princess Weeks? How about Cat Black? How about Jesse Gender? How about like way to
Oh,
just
I know
erase
Princess
like
Weeks
all
and
these
Cat
people?
Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
It's
said,
like
"No, I'm the only one."
I am the one to represent the gays and I'm not on Nebula, so
The
it
one
must
to
be
represent them
discriminatory.
all.
Yeah. And so one of the people who kind of like pushed back on this was Jessie Gender, who is a transgender creator. She does really, I really like her video essays. She's done some really good ones about like JK Rowling.
I think I've
Um,
seen. Yeah.
yeah, she does also a lot of Star Trek content, which is not so much my thing, but I like her sort of
Mhm.
like pop culture criticism. Anyway, she was like, I mean, I'm on Nebula, I'm trans, and like I guess they'd had some kind of um personal relationship at some point. Like they'd had like friendly um exchanges. So she was sort of
Okay.
like, why are you putting, so I'm still not totally clear on the timeline, but basically he does this, it has come to light, he has this history of essentially like weaponizing the fact that probably one rando like says something really out of pocket to him, and then he's like, well, I'm getting death threats and you're the one who's, you know, Jesse, it's your fault that this is happening, and I've had to go to the police over this. And like, he just really, so like, he's trying to get his fans to dogpile other creators. Like, that's something he does on a recurring basis. But the Jesse gender one got to the point where like the police were involved in some way. So it was like, hey, how about don't mention a trans person when you're talking to the police? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, she could have been swatted. Like, like this is not a safe thing for you to have done. And like, especially not over you boohooing online about how you're not on Nebula.
I just, that is something.
Yeah. So those are kind of the 3 areas of cancellation, all of which were pretty like indisputable. And I mean, honestly, we didn't even have to get into the fact that he's got like misogyny issues or that he's not a good community member online, because like just the plagiarism, if you're a literal video essayist, like
that's a problem.
You can't like GG.
Do not ask no.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, also, why are you trying to make, this is something I've heard people say, which I very much resonate with. Why are you even trying to make video essays if you don't like writing and doing the work to like create them? Like, this is,
hello, that's why I don't do them.
Like, what's the point?
That is wild behavior.
Yeah. So when that happens, I should also mention that Harry is donating all of the proceeds from that $25 million video to the creators who Somerton plagiarized.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So that happens in December. Immediately when it comes out, he like shuts everything down. He like removes all the videos from his channel. He suspends his Patreon and disappears into the ether for a little bit. He then returns. Oh, and I should mention at this point, from this point on, there's going to be mentions of threatened self-harm in a, what I would argue is weaponized way. So if you don't want to hear about that stuff, now's the time to dip. So he comes back to the internet with the required crying apology, as all YouTubers must do at some point in their career.
Yes, of course.
He's like right in our face. He's sniffling. He keeps, I mean, he's crying and he's got snot. And he starts this apology by saying, the reason you've not heard from me is that I was in the hospital because I attempted to, and you know what it is. That's yes, that is how he comes out the gate in this apology.
Okay.
And it's like 45 minutes, and I can't really even remember what all he covers in this original video, because it's mostly him just like, I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't be crying, or like I remember he throws, so he has a writing partner who's his best friend, and they are roommates. And he says he's not trying to throw this guy under the bus, but he's basically saying like, I should have checked these scripts more closely, like, that's on me. My name is on the channel. But I'm not blaming Nick.
Are you?
But I should have, he's Ace. So I assumed when he talked about Ace people that he knew what he was talking about. And yeah, so there's that whole thing. Oh, I forgot to mention the other thing that Harry reveals in his video. So Somerton had done a like Kickstarter campaign to create his own like queer author artist film studio. So like specifically to try to like create independent films that are centering like for gay audiences. Okay. Great, love it. He raised all this money. and like nothing has ever happened from it. So he has like all this money sitting somewhere theoretically, on top of the, I think it was like $10,000 he was making a month from Patreon. Like he's got all this money stashed away somewhere. So in the video, he also is talking about like, I never was trying to take people's money. You know, these things just take longer. You know, it's expensive living in Toronto. So if you think I have all this money sitting around, like I don't. So it was just sort of like a crying, sloppy mess, basically.
Where's the money, bud? Wow.
I know. People are paying him $10,000 a month to steal other people's work, basically.
Oof.
And he, you know, I don't like doubting people when they talk about their mental health issues. Okay.
Mhm.
Even assuming he had a fresh attempt, this is, you don't need to come back to the internet for that. That means you need not ever come back again. But if you are, it should be many, many months, if not years later.
After therapy.
After a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
And if you're going to call your video an apology, you might want to acknowledge what you did at some point. In the video, he like, I don't think he ever actually used the word plagiarism in that first video. Yeah, he says that he wants to contribute to the fund that Hbomberguy is setting up, but the only way he can do that is to put the videos back on. He says he's going to restart his Patreon, but he'll give everybody notice so that they don't get recharged if they don't want to, because he like locked it so you couldn't leave. So everyone was like, so you're just going to turn it back on and let everybody get charged? Like, yeah. So, needless to say, even the most charitable reading of this video is that it was like an absolute mess and like best case ill-advised.
Yeah. Like maybe if you did do that, we don't, like you said, we don't need to know. You should be focusing on your recovery, you know?
Yeah.
You face those inner demons.
Yeah. You don't need to be talking to the internet if that's what's going on. Okay. So then he has video numero dos. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. This time he's more appropriately framed. He's got the coldest temperature lighting I've ever seen in my life. Like it literally reminds me of The Shining when Jack Torrance is in the snow. Like just like the coldest light of all time. And he's, you know, to his credit, the improvement this time is that he does say the word plagiarism at some point in the video.
Okay, steps.
So that's steps. And he gives a more detailed accounting of the story from his point of view. So things that factor into his point of view are things like, oh man, where do I even start with this? So, okay, from his point of view, he had to get the videos out as quickly as possible to feed the algorithm. Had to. So for that reason, the writing kind of started to become less of a priority, and he just gave that mostly over to Nick to do. So we're still throwing our best friend under the bus here.
Yep.
Also, that completely discounts the fact that there's tons of problems with his stuff, with plagiarism issues before Nick came on board. so that's completely like his first video was literally like a ripoff, almost word for word, of this book called Tinkerbell and Dead Queens, I think. I forget. I feel bad that I don't remember.
Plagiarizing the books too. God dang.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, even if we accept this claim, like, let's take it at face value. It makes no sense because you had this issue before Nick was a co-writer. So, like, that's not going to work.
I love that he had to feed the algorithm. Were you
He
being
has,
held against your will?
I mean, he was spotted buying like $15,000 cameras. Like he would just have like a random $15,000 camera in his background or something crazy. So like he had to get that sweet, sweet camera money.
Understandable.
Yeah.
That was like Carson. Sorry.
Yeah. So that is like, so basically his narrative is we were trying to keep up with a certain pace. The writing suffered. I would copy paste sources and then oh yeah. So here's the other thing he lets us know. Two important health facts that we need to know about this, Jess. One is that he has a seizure or some sort of traumatic brain injury from his childhood that causes him seizures, which makes him forget that he's plagiarized. He also has ADHD, which also makes him plagiarize. So he just forgot that he copied literal like chapters of books into his script.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He just forgot, right? Gotcha.
Yeah. And that's what everybody who has ADHD or traumatic brain injuries does as well. I mean, we know that this is a common symptom of those issues.
They just forgot.
Yeah. We just, you can't be held responsible.
Well,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The sky is blue. Traumatic brain injuries make you plagiarize.
Duh. Like, how is he supposed to control that? Come on.
Jeez. And he also brings up in the content, and again, these could be legitimate diagnoses he has. I have no, he's lied about many things. Maybe he's not lying about this. I don't know, but they're not reason. It's the A to B doesn't work here, my friend. Like they're not equivalent. So he does that, and then he also addresses many people are like, okay, you have I think he has like an MBA in marketing, or he has like a master's degree of some kind, and he is like a business degree. So like you don't have to be here on the internet. Just go back into, and he drops the fact that he cannot get a normal business job because of his traumatic brain injury. Employers can't get insurance on him. So again, everybody knows that if you have a cubicle job like I do, where you have a disability like I do, you can't get that job because they can't get insurance on you.
Insurance policies out on. Oh,
yeah.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's that. Oh God, what else does he cover in this? He keeps bringing up in a lot of his discourse how just like that he did cite, but he understands he didn't do it correctly. And that's on him.
Oh. It wasn't APA style.
Yeah, he did not follow Chicago formatting. And that's really what the issue that people have is. Not that he literally copied and pasted entire chunks of text.
He just didn't do all of this is making so much sense. Like I really understand it now.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot about how plagiarism works from him. So this is something he brings up. So anytime he does bring up the plagiarism, he cannot help himself but say like, I tried, but I know I didn't do it right. Like that really is what he
best.
Yeah. And again, this will come back up. So that's a big part of it. Then, and he's also he's telling this all in sort of like narrativized style. So he's taking us on all these tangents, including how his father left school early and couldn't read or write. So when his mother died, he had to like take care of his dad. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I think you learned to read and write before, I think he said he left at grade 10. If there's any Canadians in the chat, let us know if you don't learn to read and write until 11th grade. But I'm pretty sure he would have had, yeah. So, and when his mom was sick, that's when he really started plagiarizing a lot more because his memory was getting worse. Like, I don't know.
What is that? It's like wait, so the ADHD connects to the wait, and then dad didn't know how to read to connect. Okay, then mama got what is that? Add up. That's why I was plagiarizing. I tried.
I really tried, guys. Dead mom equals plagiarizing. Yeah. Now, I've never had a dead mom. I do have a dead dad. So maybe I should be plagiarizing? I don't know.
I think you could get away with it if you were.
Okay.
Just be like, well, my dad died, so.
Okay, that's good to know.
You know how to read, Mara, and so does your mom. So I don't know if it's gonna work.
You know what? That's a great point. If only I had to read for her, despite her having a master's degree. So and again, I've seen some people being like, I doubt he even had parents, but like he's probably lying about that too. But I'm going to take him at his word that his mother passed in this period. I'm sure that was very difficult. It was very difficult for me when my father passed. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make you steal people's work. Like they're not. They have nothing to do with each other. They have nothing to do with the cost of tea in China. You know what I mean? Like. So he has plenty of excuses, and then he goes into this very long story explaining why Tellus was not a scam. His film studio was not a scam, Jess. It just hasn't happened yet, but it is happening. Oh. But it hasn't happened yet, but it is happening. Oh. And he will be sending a detailed communication to all the Kickstarter people to help them understand why it's not a grift.
Okay.
So that takes care of that.
No question.
Yeah.
Answer them all.
Yeah. And he's going into this long thing about how he and Nick were like in Nova Scotia, then they were in Ottawa, and then they were in Toronto, and that like they're just moving across the entire Eastern Canadian province roundup. And all of this is causing him to not do the thing that he raised money for. I don't like.
Oh, it was just so busy. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was a whole thing. What else does he cover in this video? I think those were the main points. It just was like, he did go into like a whole dedicated section about Jesse gender. And I've seen people speculate, and I think they're right. I think he did this to like represent all the ways that he was shitty to other content creators. But Jesse is like maybe the nicest person ever, and she had been far and away the most gracious of everyone he did this to. So I think he like focused on that. Because he assumed she would be gracious and would just like accept the apology, but she did make a response video. I don't think she
has ADHD and an illiterate parent and a TBI and he was moving. Of course,
yeah. She's very understanding that way. So, okay, so this is the video, and I don't remember if he took this one down or not. It was also not well received because people are like, this is a whole lot of talking. He also reiterates his self-harm stuff and how people were like coming to his door, and I don't disbelieve that people are.
If he was moving anyway. That's not important.
That's okay. I didn't even think about that, but yeah. Yeah. So again, I mean, I'm sure people were shitty to him online. I'm sure people made death threats because that's just what happens on the internet, and nobody should do that. Like, if you're watching this now, don't do that.
I don't understand it at all, but it happens. So yeah.
So that happened, and then he was putting some videos up. He started a new Patreon that had like 10 subscribers in it. And he it looked like he might try to move on, but he kind of disappeared a little bit again. Okay. Then all of a sudden in spring of this year, a post went up on Twitter, and again, trigger warning for anyone for self-harm stuff, from his account saying that if you're reading this, it means that I've taken my life.
You said this went up on Twitter?
I believe it was Twitter, yes.
Okay.
So I've scheduled this post, and if it does go live, that means this is what has happened. So immediately, everybody's freaking out, like, oh my God, did he really kill himself over getting canceled over plagiarizing? Like, what is going on? People were sending a lot of hate to Harry and his team of like, you drove him to this. There was a lot of concern. Like if it had turned out that he had actually done that, of course, I mean that nobody should do that
yeah.
over internet stuff, and like that is so sad. But don't worry, Jess, because the same day that went live, God, I love people on the internet figuring these things out. Okay, on the day it went live, somebody had clocked that he had an alt account that he had tried to use to rebrand kind of in the midst of this, but kind of went back. So it had been called a gay raconteur. Then it got renamed to the Achillean Boy. And the same day that he was posting his notice, he was horny on alt, basically. He was posting thirst traps of Ryan Phillippe from the late 90s, early aughts, which, I mean, I get.
I mean, I understand.
But
yeah,
he was showing whole on this account.
No.
Cheeks out,
ma'am.
balls out on this.
No.
On this account.
The way this went so left so quickly. What do you mean?
He had tried to retheme it to be an anal shark account. I don't know what that means, and honestly, I don't think I'm old enough to know what that means.
I don't want to know. Oh my God, what is this?
I'm not grown enough to understand what that is.
No one tell me what that means. I don't want to know.
I don't know. And then they found him also on TikTok, and he had been using like a voice mod and like an avatar, like an emoji person but then he finally showed his face with this like yassified filter on it to try to pretend it wasn't him.
Was it the bold glamour filter? I will freaking
and and then people who actually knew him started posting like, he's fine. But he did that because he wanted people to think that he ended it and make them feel bad. Like, it's giving very I'm in 7th grade and I run away to see what everybody says.
You're really gonna regret it now.
Oh, how do you feel now? Yeah, so he did that. I think he has another alt account that people found. Oh yeah, this is the last thing. They also found with these alt accounts that he had been arguing with people on Twitter about how it wasn't really plagiarism. Just because he didn't cite it in APA Chicago format doesn't mean, just because he didn't satisfy the cult of Hbomberguy doesn't mean that it wasn't okay. And people need to calm down, and nobody would even know about any of these sources. They would never look them up, so it doesn't matter.
Such valid points. Oh my God, I think I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love when people they're like, no. Him actually alive and over here showing behind. Oh my God.
Showing whole on alt.
Oh my word.
And that's why I had to tell you about this, like, just to get to that. The last 45 minutes have been building so that you could laugh with me about how absolutely bonkers the ending to him, because I don't think we've heard from him since. I think that was enough for him to find. Yes, I think so. I think after that he finally has taken the L, but it took months of him trying to come back online and faking self-unaliving for him to finally just go back to a marketing job that I'm sure he could get, or be an editor. He seems to be good at the video editing stuff. Like, that was always fine. Oh my God. Edit other people's videos, make some money. It's fine.
Oh my word. What's his last interaction?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I was thinking about looking up the was thinking about looking up the post, but I was very afraid of seeing things that I did not want to see. So I was like, I'm going to take the text receipts at their face. So I should say, I have not seen those posts with my own eyes, so they could be incorrectly reported.
I will not be looking it up.
But I'm not going to look it up. So, because I don't know what an anal shark account is, and I don't want to find out. I surely don't.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Also, my friend Kim just texted me and she says, I can't believe you just put Jess through all of that so that you can get to the punchline of he was showing hole. Hi, Kim. Yes, I did do that. And I regret nothing, honestly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When we were going through these connections with ADHD and TBI and illiterate parent, I did not think we would just. Oh my Lanta.
No one did. That's why this story has a special place in my heart, because it starts with like, legitimate academic questions about like what does it mean to like cite things on YouTube, and like what constitutes inspiration versus copy. I think there's some interesting things that you could talk about, but it ends with Horny posting Ryan Phillippe and making an anal shark account. I don't know. So yeah, that's the story of James Somerton, a white Canadian man. Oh, I didn't tell you this. This is one last little tidbit. He does have some wonderful lines about how he's pretty sure the reason that YouTube has made him the king of gay cinematic theory is because he's one of the good white gays. So,
of course. Of course, yeah.
A woke king aware of his white privilege. I can't let that slide.
I love it. We love this looking inward, the self-reflection.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So okay, now let's go to you could never.
That's a good question. Why would employers' healthcare matter when he lives in Canada? Like, I obviously don't live in Canada, but that was.
He was telling us some kind of story about how he had to be in a commercial kitchen for his marketing job.
What?
And it was a problem. I don't know. The math didn't add up to me, but I think he did move with the fundraiser money.
Because has he posted a detailed plan to his Kickstarter yet?
I don't know. I would love if you were personally victimized by James Somerton and if he ever published that update, let us know.
Please come to the front.
People were shocked when the whole reveal happened. I never didn't know that.
I feel like Twitter would have been oof.
Yep.
I rarely go on there now.
Yeah.
What's that? My favorite platform. But it's been ruined by crazy.
Someone says he has a terrifying mix of main character syndrome and a victim complex.
Yep. Yikes.
He's in need of some therapy for sure.
Intensive.
Yeah. Bree left and came back, but she knew just from the tenor of the convo, she knew this had to be a white man.
Yeah. What a good one, Mara. I recently watched a video by Princess. It was really good.
Yeah. We stand. I like her Stephen King video. That's one of my faves from her. Very interesting. Kind of talking about how like she interacts with his portrayal of blackness as a black woman.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting video.
That'd be interesting because Stephen King. Do you are you on Nebula? Like, do you have a membership or account?
I do have an account.
Do you, when you get one, do you like have to pay individually by creator, or is it just like a Nebula thing and who's on there you can access?
It's like a full bundle. Okay. And usually people have codes and stuff. I feel like this is becoming an ad for Nebula. # not sponsored. I just like the platform.
What's that other platform that's like the opposite? It's like a almost right. Is it Rumble or something?
Oh, I don't know.
There's
I
another one,
hope I never
and
get
they
there.
emailed me about putting my content. I was like, please tell me this is a mass generated email. You have never seen me a day in my life because you think I would want to be on the same platform.
You're
It's
sitting
like
there
where
like, do I look
people
like Candace
are
Owens?
referring
Like,
something to me.
yeah,
Like,
you're like,
what
I'm
does
not
that look like?
Candace Owens. I'm not Stacey
No.
Dash. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I'm like, and this is why you must Google, folks, before you accept deals.
Al says I was a subscriber of James for a bit, but then every once in a while he would say something in the video that had me going, huh? Yeah, I will say people who were his fans, like, really, I feel those are the people I feel the worst for because they really, really loved his content. And what they were loving was great content from other queer creators. And yeah, that's that's kind of where Harry ends the video, is like, you're basically denying your audience the opportunity to like actually get to know about these other people who they would enjoy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Let's see here. I saw people saying that they love the 4-hour Star Cruiser video, and I'm right there with you. I've watched it so many times. It's so good. Jenny Nicholson is an icon and a legend.
Magic.
She also has a 4-hour Evermore theme park review that is also pretty glorious. So
you said what's that?
It was this theme park. It was like a LARPing theme park in Utah that was like a disaster.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yes, great excuse to watch Harry. Oh, I will say I'm on Harry's Patreon, and I meant to look this up. They spent like 6 months trying to track down everybody that he stole from, and I forget what the final count was, but it was way more than they even thought.
Mm-hmm.
So good on that team for spending all that time to do it. And Harry obviously didn't have to make that a donation, but
what does he do for a living if he's donating all the money?
He makes enough off Patreon.
Dang. What a life.
Yeah. Let's see. People are suggesting deep dive into the right wing, not YouTube platform. Let's see. Have you seen the Evermore cleanup videos? The guy they hired to clean up the park after buying it off of Evermore McDude Face has been posting TikToks. I have not, but I feel like I want to go look that up. And Lexi, Lexi points out that it is a Mormon story.
Oh, hold on. Well, I feel like I need that. Hi, yeah. Nigel.
Yeah. Nigel,
do you want to come say hi?
A LARPing theme park is just like a Oh, here we go. To start to close this out, because I know we're both hot girls with tummy problems, so we can't make this one too long tonight. Hi, Nigel. Look at your pretty face.
Say hi. Say hi.
For those of you listening to the audio, we're enjoying some Nigel cuteness. Tara asks, we'll close out with this. Tara asks, are y'all watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Because
Tara, I finished it. I have finished it. I did. I was telling Mara about it, and I'm sad because it's only 8 episodes, so it went quick. But I watched it.
Testing the waters.
I hope we get another season because I need the mess. And it's just made me hungry for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm like, I need it. There's a crossover there. I love. It's great.
Well, I'm surprised you liked it so much because based on your text, I thought you felt like it was too produced.
Yeah, it got better, but it's just like maybe, and I think so. I had like 4 people also watching at the same time, texting them, and maybe it was that experience. But it's especially the last like 3 episodes. I was like, oh my god, But it did feel, well, it's just like, it's so funny because I don't know if I sent you this TikTok, but they keep going, well, Mom Talk survived this. Like they reference their friend group, but they say, instead of saying like, will our group make it through this? Well, it's, will Mom Talk survive? And so I'm like, y'all are not, I mean, maybe some of them are really friends, but you could tell, I'm like, some of y'all are not really friends. But the first ones felt a little more stiff, and then it got and better. And there was some really good drama about a trip to Vegas and some reveals. And I was like, I think we need more here. And the person who I think people going into it, this girl, Taylor Frankie Paul, who I'd seen on TikTok, I think a lot of us who had seen her on TikTok assumed she was going to be like the villain, but it was not her. It was some other.
Okay, I have to say, from what I've seen of that gal, highly imperfect, but didn't seem like a villain to me.
Taylor?
Yeah. She seemed like she
was trying to make her that way.
Well, I guess I struggle with it because I'm like, well, y'all are like drinking and not wearing your garments. Like, how Mormon are you?
There's a whole very much spectrum amongst the gals of their level of I don't know what you would call it,
devoutness.
Yes, to the Mormonness, because some of them are there is some like, no, I don't drink, and then there is hypocrite Whitney. Oh, I can't stand her. Who's like, no, I'm this devout Mormon mom. I don't drink, and then she's drinking 2 episodes later, and then she's swearing like a sailor, like she's a hypocrite. So it's very interesting. There are some who are like, well, yeah, I was born in Utah, grew up Mormon, and like they would like affiliate themselves, but they don't really. They ain't in the church, like they're not getting in the temple.
If you're not crying over how your grandma's going to hell because she had 1 cup of coffee on the wagon to Utah, I don't want it,
And we get to see the soda shops, and I'm just like, and look, I love soda, okay, but they go because they have all the soda shops. Since when I growing up, I had a friend in middle school who was Mormon, and for some reason I thought that it was they can have caffeine, but apparently it's they can't have tea or coffee, which is so but they can have soda.
Well,
which is so
I think soda used to be on the no-fly list, but I think it got greenlit.
Which I'm like, what's the difference? I feel like tea, that would be better, but they are about them soda shops. Like the one girl, she got like a 44-ounce sparkling water, but she added like 4 syrups and some cream, and I was like, yo,
that makes me want to barf.
Yes, they're like, oh, it's a graduation party, and they've got like this soda shop catering it, and they're like, okay, look at all the sodas and all the things you can put in your soda. I'm like, Tara, someone said that the church made a statement about the show, and my friend who was originally Mormon, but she's not like practicing, she lives in Utah. Because one of the episodes is about a baby blessing, but it's at their home, and she's like, those are usually done in the temple. And so I wonder if they did like 2 ceremonies so it could be filmed, because they can't go in the temple. Or she's like, are any of these people in good standing with the church? And I'm like,
you can do the baby blessings at your house. I've heard on Mormon stories people talk about doing that, but a lot of times it's if it's going to be a less conventional one. Like sometimes one of the parents isn't in anymore,
but see, they both are, her and the husband, and she even ended up, it was a drama that she uninvited some of the girls who were not. They basically split the cast into the sinners and the saints, because she uninvites the girls who aren't like really the religious ones. So only the ones who are like going to temple, like going to church regularly, are coming. So it was only like people actually in the church, both her and her husband. So I was like, that's interesting. But maybe did it home to have it recorded,
or maybe they did like a fake. Maybe it was like a fake one.
Yeah, like they just did it again for the episode. But yeah, she's like, no, I never gave you guys a date about the baby. And then here's the character who flashing back to 2 weeks, and she's like, yeah, I want you guys to be at his baby blessing on this date. Put it in your calendar.
Like, okay, Miss Ma'am. Lexi says, my cousin and his wife are Mormon, but drink caffeine because those rules aren't quote unquote authentic. But she won't drink a cold or hot beverage because it's bad for your cells? ? Okay. Just
The truly
another.
hardcore. It's just so the truly hardcore won't drink any carbonated beverage. Oh my gosh. It's just like there's so much on the show that I mean, and especially if you watch Salt Lake City or anything else, they're like, okay, so y'all over here talking about people who drink, but then they're talking about going to go get Botox and how like their favorite part is that they get laughing gas. And then these other two were talking about doing ketamine for therapy. And I'm like,
I mean, that is a thing, but I'm surprised
yeah,
that they.
I'm like, but that glass of rosé is bad. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, this just reminds us that everybody is following the rules they want to follow.
Mm-hmm. It's very, yeah, I don't know. It's and I've been locked in on the Reddit threads, and the TikToks have been hilarious. And I just cannot believe that RSV gal was a grown woman. I swear that was a teen mother who was
Both
like
of us were
17.
like, we thought that was a teen mom, but no. Nope.
Flabbergasted.
An adult. Yeah.
Crazy.
So everybody tune in to Secret House Mormon Wives.
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If you want to talk to Jess about it, I don't have access to it, and I don't think you've enticed me enough to get access to it. But
I'm mad we don't have a damn reunion episode. How dare! But everyone needs therapy, of course. And some of those husbands are at least verbally and emotionally abusive.
Oh, I thought you were going to say gay, because then I was going to say, have you seen My Husband Is Not Gay, that show on TLC?
No,
I sent you that trailer.
I need to watch that because definitely could be at least one husband from this show on that show. But, you know, that's how this
that I haven't seen it, but there's this gentleman who is watching it, doing like watch along on TikTok. And it's something. It is.
When you sent me that TikTok, I'm like, surely this cannot be a real thing. But I mean, TLC, of course it is. The Learning Channel, who?
They had that show about that guy who was dating his car. So, you know, they'll put anything on the Learning Channel.
Once they made the Duggars a series, or maybe before that, them and John and Kate +8. I need to find that show though. But yeah, Tender Husband's Hair, Tara. I'm gonna send you a TikTok about that one.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so that was James Somerton plus a little extra bonus on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Jess will be up next. Do you know what you're going to talk about whenever we come back together?
I don't. You'll have to stay tuned.
Okay.
I mean, I have many tabs open. I just can't right now.
Yeah. Well, Jess is going to leave her house. How dare you?
I know. Ugh, I'm already anxious.
I know.
Not next week, but the week.
Yeah, it'll be a couple weeks, but we'll be back.
Yes, we will. Since this format makes it a lot easier.
Seems to be working. Yes.
Yay!
But love y'all. Moral of the story is don't steal from people. Don't fake self-harm, and don't show your hole unless someone's asked for it and you want to give it.
And if you have ADHD, maybe consult a professional to see if that's what's causing you to steal from people.
Yeah. Pro tip. If you too are forgetting that you've stolen from people, maybe you have ADHD. Maybe you should talk to someone about that.
May this be a cautionary tale for all of us.
Yeah, this is really just a long PSA. Oh, okay. We will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.